Peace and blessings, beautiful people. Peace and blessings. This is Imani, and welcome to this bonus episode of Sacred Love Lessons. So, today I wanted to talk to you about choose happiness. Choose happiness. If you're anything like me, you want a peaceful, happy, joyful, loving life, right? Like every day I look at life, I want to experience deep joy. I want to experience happiness. Peace is a requirement. Oh my goodness. And I want all of that to be based on unconditional love, right? It has been my experience over the years, and when I say over the years, I'm talking from way back as a teenager, a while back, that in order for me to choose happiness, first of all, let me just explain. Happiness comes from within you. Yes, you can experience, like you can go to an event and you can experience happiness. You can have an object, like maybe it's your favorite jacket or your favorite car or whatever. You can participate, in some kind of sporting event, activity, or whatever it is that you like. And you can derive happiness from that event or from that object, or even from being with another person, spending your time with another person, someone that brings you happiness, right? All of that's fine and dandy, but that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is the happiness that you yourself generate from within. The happiness that comes from within you, that no matter what happens, let's just say there's no one around that you want to spend your time with, right? You can still be happy. Let's say that, maybe you're at home and you're not really going anywhere. Guess what? You can still be happy. Or maybe you're working a lot. You're in a season of work right now, right? And you're working a lot, striving for a goal, to achieve a goal. Guess what? Even while you're doing that, you can still be happy. Why? Because happiness is generated by you and it comes from within you. You tap into happiness, right? And happiness is a state of being. It is a state of being within you, within your heart, within your mind, within your soul. It is a state of being. So you don't need anything outside of yourself to be happy. Now, one of my greatest challenges to happiness has been in my quest for happiness, going within, getting clarity on what makes me happy, what I enjoy, what that looks like for me, the perception that I have in my heart, in my mind, in my third eye, what that looks like for me. Because I am a very loyal and committed person, there have been times where I have held on too long. I've stayed maybe at a job longer than I should have. I've stayed in relationships far longer than I should have. I've maintained situations, dealing with people and situations, right? Just longer than I should have. To the point where, metaphorically speaking, that when I look down in my hands have been full of things that didn't belong to me. Other people's emotions, other people's negative energy, other people's burdens, things that just no longer served me. And so I had to choose. And I remember every step of the way where there was a pivotal transformation in my life, I had to make a choice to walk away. That everything that I was holding in my hand, I had to choose. Am I going to continue to hold this in my hand and be burdened? Or am I going to lay this burden down and walk away for a new beginning of an unknown? I have no idea. But whatever is out there has to be better than what is right here, right? And I remember when I was a teenager, you guys have heard me talk about this. And for those of you who don't, I was pregnant at the age of 14, teen mom. By the time I turned 18, I had a 4-year-old. And life was not what I had imagined when I was 9, right? I used to have all these lofty dreams and ideas of how I was going to save the world, and I was going to be like Thurgood Marshall, this, infamous attorney, and blah, 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 whatever. Save my people. So life had not happened in the way that I thought it would happen. And by the time I got to be 18, I was heavily laden, heavily burdened, okay? I had a lot of responsibility that the average adult could not even withstand. And so I had to decide, am I going to leave all of this behind and move forward into the unknown? Or am I going to stay in this situation, listen to all of the negative energy that was going on around me, and embrace the future that they had designed or they had imagined for me? Well, of course, you guys know how the story ends. Oh, and shout out to both of my goddesses. I love you, right? I have 2 daughters. They're both adults, goddesses out there. Shout out to you if you hear this. And so what I did was I took my little goddess in training and I left everything. When I tell you guys I left everything behind, the only thing that I took with me was like some personal items. That was it, like some clothes and some personal items. That was it. And I just picked up and left. That was it. And I noticed that when I am focused and committed to my happiness, when it is time for me to lay some things down, that is the extent that I am willing to go. And each time I can point to each pivotal moment in my life when I've just said, trick this, I'm out of here. Well, you guys, I find myself at that place yet again. And now it's at a point where it's like second nature, it's like, whatever, it's life. It's the next step for me now. It's not as monumental as it felt before. Like the times when I had to do that before, I was young. And there was no family support there. There was no security net. And I remember how I used to say, okay, God, it's just me and you. Not understanding at the time. Keep in mind, you guys, I was young. Not understanding at the time that was enough. That if all you have on your team is the Creator, God, universe, divine, whatever you call him or her, Father, Mother, God, right? If that's all you have on your team, that is more than enough. That's all you need. But at the time, I was young, right? Because I had looked around and I had seen people, they were getting support from their family and, they had friends and stuff like that. And I didn't have any of that. And so I would say things like, okay, God, it's me and you. But God is so merciful. God is so merciful. And the whole time, she was keeping me. My archangels were guiding me. Holy Spirit was guiding me, speaking to me in my ear, telling me which way to go. I made some mistakes along the way. I usually make mistakes when I don't listen. Sometimes I can get quite stubborn and I don't listen. And it's in those moments when it's proven to be a situation. I create a situation when I don't listen. But I'm better at that now. I'm doing better at listening now. And so if that's all you have on your team, for those of you who are out there and you really feel like, you don't have anybody riding for you, maybe you can't go to your family, maybe everybody's coming to you, okay? And you feel like, I don't have anybody I can talk to, go to God. Go to God. She will hear you. He will hear you. Whatever you call the divine, don't walk around with that inside of you. And it is okay to, be a divine being having a human experience. We're all having that experience, right? It is okay. But I just want you to know that you're not in this alone. That there are people who walk this planet every day and they look like they have it all together. They wear the finest of garbs. They look like they have the best relationship. They live in mansions. I'm in South Florida, you guys. There's a lot of money down here. We see money all the time, like just everywhere. But a lot of those people are not happy. Right? They have all these things, and that takes me back to my point. Happiness is derived from within. You tap into happiness. And there are a lot of people here in South Florida that live in like palatial estates. They live in mansions. They have all these toys, private jets and cars. Here you can just drive around like it's nothing to see exotic cars, on the streets, the Rolls Royces, the Ferraris, the Porsches, all the different things here. Nothing. We see that all the time. It's no big deal. There are a lot of rich and ultra rich people in South Florida. But a lot of those people are not happy. And there are people that appear to be happy. They look like they have it all together. But inside, right? They're crying inside. They're sad inside. They feel depressed. Their emotions are all over the place. They're not happy. So don't be fooled, okay, by what you see. Remember what I said to those of you who have been listening. Believe none of what you hear and half of what you see. Because half of what you see is not even true. It's smoke. It is smoke. And you have to see beyond the veil. Don't be moved by what you see. Happiness, true happiness, it comes from within you. Okay? It is. It comes from within you. And if your hands are full of a lot of stuff, and you're still not happy, that should tell you right there that your happiness doesn't come from things. Your happiness doesn't come from people. Are you on a job where you're really not happy? Is that really what you want to be doing? Is that your soul mission, your sacred purpose? Is that your life path, your soul path? Maybe it's not. Maybe it is. I don't know. That's for you to decide. But if you wake up every day and you're like, damn, what day is this? That's an indication. And you're sad, especially on Mondays. If you're sad that it's Monday, that's an indication that you may want to check your level of happiness. That's an indication that you may want to check. Am I living on purpose? Shout out to you, Terry. I see you out there. She has a ministry of Live on Purpose. That's her ministry. She talks about purpose. I see you, Terry. You're doing great things. Keep up the good work. Yeah, so I can't say it enough. But I'm at a point, you guys, like I said, I am a perpetual butterfly over here. Again, Wife Goddess is not present to record with me on this one. But I'm going to have to get her to testify to you. Just get her input on how I am constantly evolving and ascending and changing, right? And when I find myself in a place where I'm evaluating and assessing, or I'm having to recalibrate, right? That means that there's getting ready to be some drastic changes in my life. That works for me. Maybe you should give it a try. If you feel that you're stuck, if you feel like you're unhappy, just examine yourself, examine your life. What is it that you've always wanted to do? What's stopping you? Why can't you do it? The only thing that's stopping you is you. Happiness comes from within. So anyway, I'm going to go. I hope this episode has been of value to you. It is my intent to share and teach lessons on unconditional love, because all of this, right, is about loving you. It's about loving me. It's about us showing love to ourselves. It's about self-love. Every day is self-love day. So, on that note, until next time, take care.